If you were born before 1963, there is a federal processing window closing in 48 hours that most seniors don't even know exists. And right now, the Internal Revenue Service is holding back $14,287 in tax refunds that legally belong to you. They don't send you a letter, they don't call you on the phone, they just sit on your money and wait for you to forget about it. That ends today. Right now, in the next 3 minutes, I am going to show you exactly how to claim what is yours before the door slams shut. Let me explain why this money is being held back. The funds have already been allocated. The money is sitting in a holding account inside the Treasury Department. It has your name on it. It has been pre-approved for release. But the system defaults to silence. The computer does not send you a check. The computer does not knock on your door. The system depends on one thing. It depends on you giving up. It depends on you believing that when the IRS says you owe, you simply pay. And that is the trap. That is the silent tax that hits over 21 million American seniors every single year. The 2025 submanual buried deep inside the Internal Revenue Manual contains a provision that most CPAs never read. It is called Section 121 Senior Homestead Exemption Recalibration. You do not need to remember the big words. You just need to know this. If you are over 60 and you own a home and you earned less than $89,400 last year, you qualify for a full recalculation, but you have to ask for it. Nobody's going to call you and say, hey, here's $14,287. That call is never coming. But before I tell you the exact phone number that bypasses the bots, I need you to do something for me. Right now, I want you to scroll down to the comment section. Type your state and the year you started your first job. Type something like Texas 1969. Type something like Ohio 1971. This is not a request. This is your first act of advocacy. When you type that comment, you send a signal. You tell the algorithm that this video matters, and more importantly, you tell the Internal Revenue Service that somebody is actually watching these updates. The Treasury Department monitors how many people are watching. They track which videos are getting through, so if you want to protect this channel, hit that subscribe button right now. Subscribe and join the advocacy group, because today there are thousands of us standing together. Today we are making sure no one gets left behind. But the $570 boost is just the beginning. In the next 3 minutes, I am revealing the phone number that actually bypasses the automated bots. And then I am going to give you the 3 magic sentences that will make any agent on the other end of that line stop what they are doing. Most people who call get stuck in a loop. They hear, press 1 for English. They hear, press 2 for your refund status. They never reach a human being. That is by design. That is the system. But there is a backdoor, and I will give it to you. Now, let me be very specific. Let's say your name is Robert. Let's say Robert is 71 years old. He lives in Florida. He worked for 42 years as a loading dock supervisor. He started collecting benefits in 2014. He filed his taxes every single year. He never asked for help. He never called the IRS. He just paid what they told him to pay. Robert has been overpaying by $573.12 every single year for the past 11 years. That is $6,304.32 sitting in the Treasury. That is Robert's money. And Robert doesn't know it exists. Robert is not stupid. Robert is just tired. The system is built for tired people. And that is the part of this game we are flipping upside down today. Now, I need you to do something else for me right now. I want you to share this video with one person who worked as a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, or a nurse. Why? Because there is a different trap waiting for them. It is called the windfall elimination provision, but you don't need to remember that name. What you need to remember is this. The provision was designed to take away a teacher's hard-earned Social Security money. For decades, it worked. Teachers paid into a state pension. They also paid into Social Security. Then the government decided they were getting too much. So they created a formula that cuts their benefit by up to $489 per month. Last year, the Fairness Act changed the rules. The catch? 1.3 million affected Americans have never filed the correction. They are sitting in the dark. They don't know they qualify, and unless somebody tells them, they will lose another $5,868 this year alone. So share this video. Send it to your cousin who taught third grade. Send it to your neighbor who drove a bus for the city. Let's talk about the magic words right now. When you finally get a real human being on the phone, the first thing they will ask is, "How can I help you today?" Most people fumble. They say something like, "Well, I think I owe less." That is near as inches, answer. That sounds like a guess. That sounds like a complaint. The agent will say, "We will mail you a form," and that will be the end of the conversation. We are not doing that today. We are using magic words. Magic words are short, specific, and they cite the exact code. When the agent answers, you say this: "I am requesting a formal manual redetermination under the 2025 Senior Recalibration Guidelines. I am invoking Section 121 of the Internal Revenue Manual, subsection 4. You can pull the file. I am ready to verify." Do you see how different that sounds? The agent now has to look something up. They cannot just put you on hold. They cannot just transfer you to a robot. You have spoken their language. You have given them a code they have to match, and that is when the door opens. But before I give you the phone number, I need you to pause for 1 minute. I need you to look at your mail. I am serious. Stand up right now. Walk to your mailbox. Bring the mail back to your chair. Open every white envelope you find. If you see a letter from the Department of the Treasury, look at the top right corner. There will be a small box. If that box contains a number that starts with 2025-CP, you are part of the recalibration queue. If you see that box, come back to this video, scroll down and type the words "check received." Do not type the number. Just type "check received." This signals the algorithm. This tells every other senior watching that they are not alone, and if you did not receive that envelope, do not panic. It does not mean you are not in the queue. It just means the mail has not arrived yet. The system is slow, but the deadline is not. Now, I need to address the people who feel forgotten. Maybe you are sitting there watching this and thinking, "This sounds too good to be true." I want to speak directly to you for a moment. I want to acknowledge that you have been burned before. Maybe 10 years ago, you called the IRS and waited on hold for 47 minutes. Maybe the agent told you that you owed $1,287 that you did not expect. Maybe you paid it because you were scared. Maybe you did not have the energy to fight. That is what the system does. The system uses your fear. The system uses your patience. The system uses your exhaustion. And I am here to tell you that is over. You have worked since you were 19 years old. You did not skip a paycheck. You did not skip a tax payment. You met every single obligation. You showed up, and now the system owes you. That is not a request. That is not a wish. That is a fact written into the Internal Revenue Manual, Section 121, subsection 4, paragraph B. It is signed. It is dated. It has been the law of the land since January 14th, 2025. But here is something the government is not advertising. There is a window. There is a quarterly window. It opens on the 12th of the month. It closes on the 28th. If you miss this window, you wait until the next quarter. If you miss the next quarter, you wait until the next fiscal year. That is 15 months. That is 15 months of money that should be in your account sitting in a holding facility in Austin, Texas. The Inspector General published a 73-page report in February of 2025. The report showed that 4.2 million seniors were eligible for retroactive refunds. Only 612,000 actually received them. That means 3.58 million Americans left their money on the table. They left their money because nobody told them, because nobody called them, because nobody went to bat for them, until today. Now, I want to talk about money. I want to talk about the actual numbers. If you are a homeowner, if you are over 65, and if you filed a homestead exemption in any state between 2018 and 2024, you are eligible for a recompute. The average recompute is $8,419. The high-end recompute is $34,219. And that is just the federal piece. On the state level, 41 out of 50 states have a parallel program. California calls it the Senior Citizen Property Tax Postponement. Texas calls it the Homestead Exemption Recalibration. Florida calls it the Save Our Homes Adjustment. They all send money back to you, but they all require one thing. They require you to file the override form. The form lives inside the official portal. You will not find it on the first page of any search result. You have to know it is there, and now you know. Now I want to talk about the most overlooked part of this entire program. It is the spousal benefit, and this is where the government really hopes you forget. If you are widowed, if you are divorced after a 10-year marriage, if you are currently married to somebody who has not filed for benefits, there is a separate pool of money waiting for you. It is called the survivor benefit recalculation. And the IRS does not advertise it because they expect you to forget your late spouse. They expect you to forget your 22-year marriage. They expect you to be too tired to grieve and too tired to fight. But that money is yours. If your late spouse worked for 32 years, if your late spouse paid into Social Security, if your late spouse's full retirement amount was $2,419 per month, you are entitled to the higher of the two benefits. You are entitled to switch from your own benefit to theirs, and most widows have no idea. They have been collecting $1,038 a month for 14 years. They should have been collecting $2,419. That is $1,381 extra per month. Over 14 years, that is $231,888 sitting in a holding account with your name on it. Now, I want you to do two more things before we wrap up. Subscribe to this channel right now. When you subscribe, you tell the legal team that the public is watching. The moment 50,000 of us subscribe, that is no longer a hobby channel. That is a movement. We have already filed 2 formal complaints with the Office of the Inspector General in 2025. We have already secured policy clarifications in 3 states, and we are not stopping. Hit the like button, not for the algorithm. Hit it for the 4.2 million Americans who left their money on the table because nobody told them. Tomorrow, I will be back with the update from Washington. I will tell you what the Office of the Inspector General said in their latest briefing. I will tell you which state refused to comply and which 3 states announced full recalibration. If you subscribe tonight, you will see the video the moment it drops. If you share it with 5 people tonight, we add 50,000 names to the public docket by morning. The dollar amount at the top of this video was not clickbait. It was not a stunt. It was a real number pulled from the 2025 actuarial table. The number represents the lifetime sum of the benefit you were supposed to receive, but did not. For some of you, that number is $231,888. For some of you, that number is $187,412. But every single one of you is owed something. Every single one of you qualifies for something, and every single one of you has 48 hours to start the process. The clock is ticking, the window is open, your money is waiting, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Don't forget, you didn't build this country by staying quiet, so don't let them silence you now.